Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, my little corner of the YouTube world where I share with you guys how knitting has interwoven into my life along with some other fiber crafts as well. My name is Kristen, I'm the maker behind DoSo Knits, and I'm so excited to have you guys here today. This is episode 40 of my knitting podcast where I share with you guys all the works in progress I've been working on, my finished objects, future cast-ons, new yarn I've brought in, all that kind of fun knitting stuff. And I have a few other fiber crafts as well that I want to share with you guys today. So, with it being episode 40, I feel like that is another great milestone, so I will be doing a giveaway at the end of this episode, so make sure you stick around for that. And I'm excited to share with you guys today. Honestly, I have so many fun projects to share, and it's snowed outside. We have like multiple inches of snow today, and I'm just really excited to be sitting down and talking with you guys today. So I am drinking a cup of coffee from one of my favorite coffee cups. This is a Monty Potts cup that I got from a Homespun House's marketplace shop. It is a hand-turned ceramic mug. I love ceramic hand-turned pottery. I feel like there's so much warmth in the cup that's different from a store-bought mug. So I'm drinking my coffee from that this morning. It's still quite early, and I hope you have something cozy as well, maybe something to work on, and we can dive into what I've finished so far. As always, show notes for everything, links to patterns, and my Ravelry project pages is all in the description box down below, in addition to my Instagram, my Ko-Fi account, all that kind of good stuff. It's all down in the description box, so if you need to reference anything, it's all there. I also put timestamps, so if you ever need to re-reference or go to different parts of the video, there should be chapter codes so you can jump quickly from one project to the next. If you want to refresh, see something again, it's all down there. So before we dive into projects, I figure we can start with what I'm wearing. This is one of my favorite sweaters. This is my Chalet Days sweater by Samantha Gurin Designs. I absolutely love this sweater. I was lucky enough to test knit it for her, and it's an all over colorwork yoke. It's a round yoke. It's a worsted weight sweater, and it's one of my best fitting sweaters that I've knit so far. I've not knit a ton. I'm still feeling like I'm building up my sweater closet, and this one definitely fits really, really well. So it's a worsted weight. I used Nerd String worsted in the colorway Rebel Rebel for my main color, and then Birthday Suit for my contrast color. And this is kind of what it looks like. It's just a nice, I did shorten it just a little bit in the waist. I also shortened the sleeves just a little bit, so they're almost bracelet length, but I also haven't reblocked the cuff since I did it. But that is my sweater. I think it fits really well, and the Nerd String yarn is just really lovely and soft, and I love the graphic design here. It's definitely really, really amazing. I did a 48-inch bust for this one, so I have a little less positive ease at my bust, but it does fit really nicely up here for me. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing. I love that it's actually getting cold enough that I can wear more of my few sweaters that I've knit. I just love throwing on long sleeve sweaters and feeling really, really snuggly. So then we can move on to what I have finished so far. And the first thing I finished I was actually working on in the last podcast episode. And so this is my fourth hat by Ysolda Teague. And it's fourth as in go forth, not fourth as in 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is what it looks like. So I knit this again. This is with Nerd String yarn. This is Nerd String's Merino. It's a DK weight. It's the Merino and Donegal Tweed DK base. So it's 85% superwash merino, 15% Donegal Neps, and I love this hat. So this hat is similar to Isolde's Musselburgh hat, where you can start at the top and then you do your increases to then figure out your gauge. And then based on your stitch gauge, you can determine how many stitches to increase to, and then you continue knitting it down until it is done. So I opted to do the fold over brim. So actually I have this much ribbing and then this much stockinette. So I did the adult medium size. I did the length recommended for the adult medium. And then I did add a little extra length to the ribbing. So in total, I knit the stockinette to 15 centimeters, which is what the pattern recommended. And then I knit my ribbing to 18 centimeters, which was a bit longer than what was recommended. But it's because I did the recommended amount, was able to try it on, which is one of the benefits of this top-down style hat, and it wasn't covering my ears completely. So I added a few more centimeters to get it to the length that I liked. The next time I do it, I would probably add a couple more centimeters to the stockinette, and then the same amount of ribbing that I've done here. But I blocked this and I haven't worn it yet because I was waiting to show you guys, and I'm so excited. So this is kind of what it looks like on. So we have a little slouch up here, and I'd like a little more slouch, which is why I would say I would add probably 2 more centimeters or about an inch more to the stockinette. But my ear is completely covered with 2 layers of fabric, and I think it looks super cute. I'd have to like style my hair a little bit. I'd have to like tuck it in and do a couple things, but especially with this much snow, I'm so excited to have a warm and snuggly hat. I might see if I can find like a nice olive pom-pom, because I feel like this hat could use a pom-pom. But super stoked about this. I loved the top-down knitting on this pattern. It made it really nice to make sure the hat would fit me, and it was really nice to be able to try it on and be like, no, I want a few more inches of length, and then easily just keep knitting until it's the length that you want. I will definitely be knitting this pattern again. It took me about a week, I think, and that wasn't me working on it exclusively. I would pick it up and put it down. Yeah, so this is up close. And then the bind off I did here is I did a sewn bind off, and I used Kay's from the Crazy Sock Ladies tutorial for how to do a sewn bind off. And it's very stretchy. I love it. I love this hat. So I did mention the yarn. This is how much I have left. That's the other benefit of doing top down, is if you wanted to use the entire skein, you could just keep knitting. You'd have a lot of ribbing, but it's really nice to just know that if you're using scraps or anything else, you can just bind off whenever you need to. So in total, the amount I have left here is 25 grams. So overall, my hat took about 75 grams of DK weight yarn. So if that's helpful to you, you now know how much yarn I use, and I do include all of that in my project pages as well. Yeah, I'm excited that I've shown this now and that I can wear it. I might see if I have a pom-pom in my stash that I can toss on here. Otherwise, I might snag one. Maybe a brown or an olive. Yeah, I love this yarn so much and this hat. So the next thing I have finished is a big one. I have finished my Twist and Turns MKAL by Stephen West. So this was the mystery knit along that Stephen put on this year. It started October 6th, and I have finally bound off and finished my shawl. I told you guys a little bit of my woes in the last episode of what was holding me back, but I have finished, I have blocked it. I am so happy. I think it looks so good. And here it is to show you guys. Let me back up a bit. Here is my shawl. I love it so much. So each side is mirrored, and that's it. So I'll tell you the yarns I used first. So my green color is Porter Wool Company Into the Woods. It was a superwash merino and nylon blend. The gold color is Caramel by Fru Valberg. It was also a superwash merino and nylon blend. And then my accenty green is Nerdstring 4-ply fingering in the colorway Chartreuse with Envy. It was just 100% superwash merino. And then I did also opt to do the I-cord embellishments. And this was Hedgehog Fibers Merino Sock. And I'm unsure of the color, but it's like a brown and has some like orange speckles in it as well. These I-cord embellishments went much faster than I thought they were going to. I think each one only took like 5 to 10 minutes each to knit the I-cord, and then sewing them in was pretty easy as well. So I did those when I was tired of working on this. So I do have a couple mistakes kind of hidden throughout my shawl. The first mistakes you can see are in my cables. My middle cable on each section, instead of it being like this, like a S, my middle cable on both sides is a braid. And so I messed that up on one side, so I just mimicked it on the other. The other thing that I did is on both of these, I accidentally did a garter row of my gold instead of a stockinette row. I did it accidentally on both sides of this, and they were only one stripe apart. So both times my brain was just like, we're just gonna keep knitting instead of purling. And then I caught it, and both times I thought about ripping the row back and then decided not to. And I feel like you can't see it really here. And I feel like you can barely see it when I point it out. So once this blocked, I feel like it bloomed so nicely. The yarn is so soft and beautiful, and I feel like when you throw it on, it just drapes really well. It feels really snuggly and nice. I thought the green might be a bit too bright, but seeing the whole shawl together and the accent is really just an accent. There's not a lot of like there's a strip of it here. There's like a strip of it here. So it really does feel like an accent. It's not too overwhelming. I think it looks really nice, and the shawl is so nice and fun. Definitely enjoyed knitting it. I'm on the fence if I will do next year's knit along. I love the community aspect of knitting each week, seeing what everyone is doing. I love seeing color choices come together. But also I feel like October and November was consumed by this project. And as we move into these colder months, there are so many more things I want to be knitting on. And between this commitment and my Desert Vista dye work socks, I feel like all these other like garment projects that I really want to dive and sink my teeth into, I just don't have the time. I feel like October kind of kicks off like cold weather knitting, and I do this and it takes a lot of time and energy, and then by the time I finish this, it's now like Advent, December knitting. So again, all my garments that I want to make are kind of on the back burner. So we'll see. I love doing it, and I love engaging with you guys and seeing what you think of the shawl, but it is a lot of knitting. But also the fear of missing out is also real, because I wouldn't knit this afterwards, but I'm so happy that I have it now. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about going into next year's. I am very happy that I used 4 of the 5 skeins were from Stash. That's like a really big deal, and that I didn't buy 5 new skeins. So I'm really proud of that. I think the colors look really nice together. So that is my Twist and Turns MKAL. Okay, so then I have 2 more finished objects, but they're less knitting and more other fiber crafts. So if you're not interested in these, feel free to skip ahead to works in progress, where I have some knitting works in progress. But I finished my skein of yarn that I was spinning. So this is what it looks like. It is 2 different colors of Corriedale roving, and I'm pretty sure this is close to like a DK to worsted. There is much to be improved in this skein. There's definitely some spots where I'm a bit under twisted in my plying. I'm not sure why, because I try to check like the twist when I'm doing it and make sure it's even. But one of my coworkers was saying I probably need a little more twist in my ply before I wash it. So if you have any tips for spinning, I'd love to hear. I am very proud of this skein. The marling is fun, but like this part is kind of crinkly, and then there are other parts where like here I feel like the ply is a bit under twisted. I feel like my singles are getting really well, and I can get them a bit thinner than I was able to before, but my plying is where I'm still trying to figure things out. And it's kind of hard because it's like the last leg of the race, and you're like, this is all I had to do, and then my skein is done. But to like be able to then practice these parts, you have to do so much prep work to then be able to practice plying. But I'm pretty excited about it. I was thinking about making another 4th hat with this, since it can be in any gauge. It might be kind of fun, but we'll see. I need to reskein this to see how much yardage I have, because I was told you should do that after you wash it. So I'm going to do that, see how much yardage I have. But with this being an any gauge pattern, I think I'll be able to swing that. And I think it would be a nice hat. So that is that skein. And then the other thing I have done is I invested in a rigid heddle loom from Ashford, which is just like a tabletop. I think it's a 40 centimeter loom. I've wanted a weaving loom for a really long time, and so I finally got one, and I did a little scarf weaving for my mom over the weekend. So this is the scarf that I wove. And then this is the other side. So I think it looks really, really cool. I used the gold color is my Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. It's leftovers from my For Keeps cardigan. So it's the color mustard heather, I believe. Oh, brass heather for Wool of the Andes worsted weight. And then the gray is Patton's worsted weight in the color gray. All these, I will have details in the project in the description below, because I don't know exactly if I'll be able to make a Ravelry project page for this. And then the brown is a color that I got from Webs on a Cone, and this is by Harrisville Designs. It's Highland. It's a sport weight, and this is the color Sand. So I bought this specifically to use as my long strands for the scarf, because it was really inexpensive and really nice. Would definitely use it again. But I think the plaid looks really nice. I tried to do somewhat of a repeating pattern, and honestly I started this on Friday evening and finished it Sunday morning. And I only sat down a couple times, like hour here and there. So weaving is super fast and also very economical for yarn. I only used 2 skeins, not even 2 full skeins of the wool of the Andes, so less than 100 grams. I probably used about half of this cone. I should have weighed it beforehand, but I didn't. So this is what a full cone looks like versus what I've used. So I feel like that was very economical. And then the worsted weight gray from Patton's was already leftover yarn, and I still have a ton of it left. So I feel like weaving has like you can get a lot of bang for your yarn buck. I did do a 5 per inch weave, and I have a 7 per inch weave. I don't know the technical terms, I'm still learning. So there's 5 cross hatches per inch, and it does result in a little bit of an open weave here. So the next time I'll probably do a 7. But I really hope my mom likes this. It's one of her Christmas presents. She said she wanted a gold scarf, and I really didn't want to knit a gold scarf, so I weaved one, which is so much faster and a lot more enjoyable. I'm so glad I've gotten a loom. It's something I've wanted for such a long time, and I can foresee myself in the future weaving many dish towels and washcloths instead of knitting or crocheting them. I'm still on the fence about doing washcloths or dishcloths and washcloths because I do kind of enjoy doing them every now and then, but if I could do like 6 in the time it takes me to crochet 1, game changer. And I love a woven texture. Love it so much. So I'm very excited about that investment. I think it's so much fun and it's so cute. So that is my newest toy that I'm enjoying. And now I think I have all my big toys that I've wanted for a while. And I shouldn't be getting any new toys soon, hopefully. Love this. Very excited. Those are all of my finished objects that we have, so we can move into what I have been working on. So I'm just going to show you the things that I've really worked on over the past couple weeks. Something I've worked on but is just kind of boring to show is my muscle burrow hat. I'm doing it in a Knit Picks palette, and I've done like 2 inches. So I'll probably not show that again until I finish, because otherwise it looks basically the same. It's just a couple more inches. So we'll move into what else I've been working on. So the first thing I have is living in this DeliQ bag. I'm unsure which bag this one is, but I really like it. All like the texture is patina from me basically doing this all the time. I crumple this up and throw it in my backpack all the time. But in here are my DRK Everyday Socks by Andrea Mallory, and I'm doing these for my Desert Vista Dye Works November socks. So I have finished the first sock, which I believe it was finished the last episode. And I'm really close to finishing the second sock. So this is my little dumpling from Simply Serving. These are for my husband, so I think the dumpling on them is pretty cute. We love getting like Asian foods together. It's one of our favorite types of cuisines. So that's the little dumpling. I also have a little ramen bowl that I use for his socks sometimes too. So I have knit these toe up. I've been using US 1 2.25 millimeter needles, magic loop for these. So I have been following the pattern exactly. I have done toe up, the 2x2 rib the whole way, finished the fleagle heel. I do really love how fast this heel goes. The increases do take a bit to get there because I think you're increasing like 24-ish rounds, 28-ish rounds to get enough stitches for the heel. And you do get a lot of stitches on your back needle, but then the heel goes very, very quickly. And then I'm at about 2 inches of the leg right now, and I'm doing about a 4-inch leg for Shane. I did have him try them on, And I feel like they look a little taller on him than they do here, because your whole length is from here to here. So it's probably 6 inches from like bottom of his foot to up. But he tried them on because I said, do you want these longer? Another perk of doing toe up. And he said he liked this length, and I was like, thank you. Great. I will go and do this sock. So 2 more inches and then these will be done. Hoping to finish them today. I did these 2 inches of the leg last night while we were watching TV. So I'm hopeful that I can get these done today because I have to finish them by tomorrow. And then for my bind off here as well, I just did another sewn bind off and I really like it. So the colorway that I am using this month is called Spaceship Earth on Desert Vista Dyeworks Viso base, which is a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So a lot of her colors are self-striping, but this is one of her variegated colorways and I love it. So this one's been really nice to just kind of pick up and put down. Once you get past that heel flap, it's pretty easy. I did say last time I was still on the fence if 2x2 ribbing is mindless knitting for me. I still don't think it's mindless. We went to a movie and I tried to work on these and did like 4 stitches and I was like, no, I can't. I can't feel the purl stitches versus the knits. So in the movie I worked on my muscle burrow hat and then I've just worked on these when I need something mindless but still can see my hands. The next thing I've been working on is for my Secret Santa at work. So if you work with me and are participating in Secret Santa and you don't want it spoiled, skip this project. Thank you. Because I really want to share it. But if you don't care about spoiling a surprise, you can watch. Anyway, so we do a Secret Santa at work where you have to hand make an object. So the project I'm working on, it's called Ali Unmeer. I really don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It is also by Ysolda Teague. And it's a cowl pattern and it has both a short cowl and like a double loop cowl as well. I am doing the short cowl and the yarn I am using is called Patagonia Organic Merino. It's in the colorway Cinnamon and it's by Juniper Moon Farm. This is what the yarn looks like. It's so lovely. This is a woolen spun yarn, which I didn't know about when I bought it. It is a sport weight and it's so spongy and really nice to work with. It's not as soft as like this superwash merino, but I do think it is really, really nice. And it's so, the sponge to it is just insane. There is a lot of like variegation and color difference within it, which is really fun to work with. And this is how far I am in the pattern. So the cowl has multiple different charts and they're all just made with knit and purl stitches. And so I'm working on another chart here. I'm on my 4th out of 6 charts and it's been really fun to work. I definitely had to pay attention. I thought this would be something I could easily read the knitting with, and I can, but I think this yarn is just a little harder to read. So I do have to like count and pay attention. For this section, I had to put in stitch markers between the pattern repeats, and I did it for this section because I was really struggling with getting off like 1 or 2 stitches. This one, it was pretty easy, and then the one I'm currently working on is also really easy to follow as well. It does have a do cast on that I've never done before. It kind of makes these little picot bumps throughout. This is called the Channel Island cast on. I'm still on the fence about how I feel about it. I do think I messed up in a couple places. Like it's a bit looser here, but then like here, it's okay. I just don't know if the effect is all there. Yeah, overall it's been really fun to work on. It's just knits and purls, and it's gonna be a really nice, long, warm KAL. Yeah, I don't know what else really to say about it. I'm using 16-inch needles, and it's on a US 4, 3.5 millimeter. Yeah, this is my KAL. I should have it done by this weekend for next week. And this is living in my Coco Knits craft caddy, which has been really fun. It's really nice to just kind of carry around the house. And then in here as well, I have a new Coco Knits accessory roll. I love this thing. So in our previous house, I would mostly knit upstairs, and so I had this little tray that I just kept by the couch, and it had all my essentials in it. But now I kind of move around the house a bit more. I knit upstairs, I knit downstairs. We have a basement, so we have our TV down there, but upstairs it's just more of like a sitting area with no TV. So this is really nice because it just rolls up and then has these 4 compartments. They all disconnect. I took off one that has nothing in it. And it's made of craft paper, which is washable, so if it ever gets dirty, you can wash them. I got this to just like have to throw in my bag if I ever needed to, and I've just really, really enjoyed it. So each one it's just paper, and it's just like folded in, and then they open up and you can put your stuff inside, and then they just close. So I have like that one has scissors and like a crochet hook for fixing things. I have one with just stitch markers, needle stoppers, and then I have one with like kind of miscellaneous stuff, like things I don't use as often. So I have like my cable needle and my knitting thimble for when I do color work. And then I have a 4th one that I haven't put anything in. I think it's really lovely. It folds up just like that. Really tiny. And so it's easy to throw in a bag and take with you. I think you could easily use this for lots of different things. And I don't know. I just was very excited about it when I saw it and bought one, and I wanted to show you guys it. I think it's really lovely and gonna hold so many things, and it's just really nice. The only thing that doesn't fit in here well are circle tape measures. This is the only thing that I can't fit into one of these squares. So I just had to wear my leather wrist ruler more, I guess. Alrighty, so then the last thing I've really been working on, it kind of has a long name, but it is the Advent Mystery Knit Along 2019 by a Homespun House, Molly Klatt. So I mentioned this in my previous video, which I will link right above, in my What to Do with Yarn Advents, my December knitting plans video, that I was planning to work on this shawl, and I did start it on Sunday, the first Sunday of Advent this year. And so each Sunday I get to open a new 50-gram skein of yarn, and then on 2 of the Sundays I get another skein of mohair. So my first skein so far is this one, and this is the color. This is the label that comes on it. It's so stinking cute. Look at it. Look at all this. It's so cute. Molly does such a great job with her labels. I love them. So this is the colorway Mistletoe, and it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's the soft sock base, which I think Molly said they are going to rename. So it was sock. It might be something different now. And each one comes in their own little bag. So I've done a couple of, I've started the shawl. I've just gotten into some of the eyelet rounds, but this is what it looks like. So I've done most of my increases before you can get into, there's a couple eyelets hidden in here, like one there, one there. that's what it looks like so far. I'm holding the mistletoe with a skein of mohair. I'll have mohair throughout. And yeah, I'm just really excited for this final product. It'll be really, really snuggly. And I have this little glitter ornament, which I think came with this kit last year. There's not a lot to show with it right now. I literally just started it a couple days ago. But the halo on this is so nice. So that is my mystery advent shawl knit along. And it's just in my Join the Stitches, one of her backs. Those are all of the works in progress that I have. So now we're at the part of the episode where I can show you some of the new things that I've brought in. I've shown you a couple of them, honestly, so far. My Allianmer shawl was that Patagonia organic merino. I do have 2 skeins of it. I didn't know if I would need more than one, so I just grabbed 2 just in case. If anything, I'll make like mittens or something with the other one. And then I showed the cones that I got, which is that Shetland, or it's Harrisville Designs Highland. And this is the color Sand and the color Cypress. These are such a good deal. Both these and the Patagonia Merino I got from yarn.com webs, and I just really, really liked them. I also got a couple skeins or braids of roving. One is from Fancy Tiger and one is from Webs. So this is the color that I got from Webs. This is Malabrigo Nube, which is a superwash merino braid. I thought for this one I might be able to make like a hat or something for Shane. And then I also grabbed, oh, and this is the color Wales Road. And then I also grabbed a color from Fancy Tiger, which is Corteza. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one. I just know I really liked it. Probably, honestly, a lot of my spinning is probably going to be hats for a while. And honestly, we'll see. I've not spun with merino yet. I've only spun with the Corriedale, so it's definitely a bit smoother. So we'll see. I'm definitely open for any tips for spinning if you have them. I feel like it is a completely brand new world, and kind of feel like I'm on a little boat in the middle of the ocean just trying to figure things out. And sometimes I see like another passing boat and I'm like, hi, do you have any tips? So yeah, I did also grab a couple skeins of Mondum. I had grabbed a skein of Natural last episode when it's going to be my heels, cuffs, and toes for my cozy advent, but we did get a restock at Fancy Tiger, so I grabbed a couple more skeins, so I figured I would show you those colors. This is the color Oreo. I've always liked this color and never grabbed it, so I grabbed one of these. And then we also got this limited edition color from Mondum. It is the color, we named it Taffy, but it was an exclusive color that Mondum Retrosaria did for a yarn show in Europe. And so we were lucky to get a couple skeins of it. It's just like a natural with like orange, yellow, and blue throughout. I think it's really fun. So I grabbed one of these as well. I'll probably end up making socks with them. I just kind of growing my Mondum stash a little bit because I have used it in a couple socks. I've used it in my Curio socks, and I've used it in my Cozy Advent sock last year for heels, cuffs, and toes. And in my Curio socks, it's nice because they've kind of felted a little bit. I've used it with Spin Cycle, and the bottom is really like smooth and felted now. So I do really like that. It's a really strong, sturdy yarn for socks. But also single skeins, you can do a lot with them. So if I want to throw it in like a shawl or anything. But yeah, that is basically all the yarn, all my works in projects, all my works in projects. I've said that a couple times. All of my works in progress and finished objects that I have to share with you guys today. And so I did mention at the beginning that since this is episode 40, I do want to do a little bit of a giveaway. And so December is my favorite month of the year. I love the holiday season. I love the cold weather. I love that I live in a place that has snow now. Also, it's my birthday month, so yeah, I just wanted to give back to you guys a little bit and do a little bit of Christmas cheer giving. So what I'm going to do is in the description box down below, there's going to be a link to a Google form. In that Google form, if you will just fill it out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a couple of people from that form and give you a pattern of your choice. I'm going to gift it to you. I will buy it and send it to you on Ravelry. So in that form, if you can just let me know your name, contact information, and then what pattern you are looking at getting. I won't be doing like a pattern book, just single patterns. If you have a link to Ravelry, feel free to link it there. And if you have a Ravelry username, we can put that there as well. If Ravelry is not accessible to you, we can figure something out if you are one of the winners. So what I'll probably end up doing is this video will be going up on the weekend. I will probably leave the video up for about a week before I pull winners. So make sure you fill that out and make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. And I will get those patterns sent out to you as a little December gift. And it's just my way of saying thank you to all of you guys for spending time with me. It really means so much that you choose to sit and knit and spend time with me. And I really, really love sharing all of this with you guys and interacting down in the comments below. So that is everything I have. Make sure you fill out that Google form if you would like to be gifted a pattern this holiday season, or if you would like to help me give more gifts. If you don't necessarily want to give one, feel free to go to my Ko-Fi account and you can leave something there, and then I will make sure that I can give more patterns to people who might want one this holiday season. That is where I'm getting the money to do this giveaway. So if you don't necessarily want a pattern but want to help spread more giving cheer, that is the place to do it. So as always, guys, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to know about future videos that I post. It's a free way to support the channel and it gets us to more knitters. I hope you're going to have a lovely December. I know it can be a hard month for people, so make sure you reach out to your friends. Just check on with them. Make sure everyone's doing okay as we celebrate, but sometimes it can be hard for other people as well. As always, thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope you've put a little bit of love into every stitch you're making today, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Happy winter.